here, which is pretty basic. It's basically just the window, and then
Didn't
I have
he just
my
die by
webcam
just
up
going
here
into like the same
usually.
sun
But to
thing
get
that he
started,
was, like,
you're just going to come up
impersonating?
here and click Add
Okay, cool.
Scene, and then you can just add. We're just
That's
going to
pretty
call
bad.
it
I agree.
YouTube.
It's pretty fucking bad.
That's
If I
just
can get the actual word, okay, YouTube
from a narrative
gaming
standpoint and from a
test.
from a
So we're going
gameplay
to call it
standpoint.
YouTube gaming test. So now we have a brand new scene here
Well,
with the empty sources. So we have nothing added to this profile.
So this is supposed to be like Cortana's moment, you know, she's been like this nuisance throughout the entire game, and here she is finally being fucking useful. I can't forgive it. It's just, oh great, she's helping me for once.
It's also very Deus Ex Machina standpoint.
Yeah.
From a gameplay standpoint, that's just.
Test. So now we have a brand new scene here with the empty sources. So we have nothing added to this profile. So
this is supposed to be like Cortana's moment, you know, she's been like this nuisance throughout the entire game, and here she is finally being fucking useful. I can't forgive it. It's just, oh great, she's helping me for once. Because all you did was just blast him with the Spartan laser. I'm sorry, Robert.
Oh. What happened?
You good? Game room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're post. Oh, he's like fuck Twitch.
Sweet.
From YouTube. All right.
Yay.
Yeah, I think YouTube works better for me anyway.
It's true. Oh, we're in the chatting. We can hear ourselves. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're good. We can see. We can hear.
Oh god, I'm gonna get confused by everyone's voices.
Oh, chat.
I'm gonna turn it down. Oh. No,
Interactive.
I'm just gonna turn down the volume so I know
On the
louder voices is the real voice. Okay, I'm now just seeing you hitting continue.
I can just like turn off like the volume for Rob's.
Alright. You have just loaded.
This is pretty dope.
Loading is complete. Now loading. Alright, so you got that 10-second or 20-second lag here.
Oh yeah, now this looks much better than it did over this.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. Alright, just know that we'll be a little delayed, so don't get sad if we don't cheer at the right times. We'll cheer right now. Yeah! Because you're hitting him, right? Yeah, good job. I get it. Halo 4 shit story.
Okay.
Not
and
a very,
people had
very good thing.
fucking gall to tell me it was good, and I'm not even fucking done with this shit, okay? And this is starting to become a little bit more personal. Like,
To be honest, when you were
I
talking
think I
about
might
first
have to turn on the quality.
quality,
Okay.
the quality is really good.
Yeah, on the stream, I had to turn on the quality because people were roboting.
Oh,
the
really?
bandwidth issues.
I see.
No, this is clean. This is very crisp. Yep.
Wow.
This is a very beautiful game.
Hey.
No, this could start arguments. Arguments I won't make because I've never played Okami, so.
You know what? I really love Legend of Zelda, but I fucking love the shit out of Okami to where I'm conditioned that every year I have to play this game once.
Listen, this guy has way more moves than Link does. So.
Fucking Todd, so.
Yeah, technically, that is true. He's a good dog. He's a good dog. God dog.
When I played this game the first time, I just let him barking.
He's like,
It's actually really, it's a really cool name, Okami, because it means two different things in Japanese. Because Okami means great god, or which are both. I always thought that was cool. It's one of the reasons why I want to play this game. Just like it, just everything about it just is neat from what I've seen of it. Like the art style is neat, the concept is neat.
and he has his own fairy, except he's a little douche called Isun.
The music is just great.
Yeah.
God, I want to just play this game just.
So is this like on PC, Robert? I didn't know Okami was on. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'd agree. It is.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's $20 on Steam. That's probably cheaper than what I'd have to pay to get a PS3. Yeah, I might like if I ever get money again. If I get
The only game that
get
has
a
this type
job.
of like artistic style is one of the Rockstar games that has this much artistic like prettiness to it.
Alright, Robert, what the fuck are you doing? Stop pussing out. Go. Fucking do it. Fucking do it. Okay.
You have just now.
You just got through the game.
No, you're just sitting in front of it.
It's a cutscene now. Alright.
His butt.
Them butts. Everyone likes to eat butt.
Oh god, y'all are doing butt stuff?
Doggy butt stuff. Actually,
Oh,
God
fuck.
doggy. No, he's streaming dog butt.
No. I cannot condone this behavior.
Damn it, can you fucking screen cap them?
Another puppy.
Aww.
But a dog.
You don't see the dog's butt. It doesn't matter. Oh.
Good spider boys! Where are they? Where are the good spider boys?
Oh, click on Rob Senpai. Didn't see his name. Click on the YouTube channel. It's a stream.
I love this boss.
Oh. Ew. Catherine.
My lack of knowledge on how to use computers, electronic devices continues, so I will just hang out with you instead of watching the live stream.
about this? You mean?
Reskinned monsters, Japanese fucking mythos.
I mean, I would love to run something like that. I just need to figure out how to do that, how to be a DM, and then I would love to run something.
There's something that they released on Kickstarter that's all, I think it's Korean creatures and things like that. I'll find it.
Oh, that shit.
I've been trying really hard to get people to do this with me, but it would take so much knowledge and dedication from the players in order for it to actually work. But I really want to run something that's set in, I think, like early Inca in the South American continent. Just with like plague counters and like, I can get you with disease, because guess what? Disease. But
Got a lot of dedicated people here.
yeah. I might put something as maybe a one-shot, I don't know. I think I can do that. Yeah.
One player dating by doing it, pretty much. See what two players you like. So let's strike with the main question. That's is that an early attack or is it the new thing?
I think that's in the beginning. You get like a cut thing that's like that.
Yep, this one.
Yeah, and it's like the first thing.
Is it faster to do it that way or just use your own attacks? Right.
Alright, I have a quick question for you. How thorough are you through okami games? Like, get all the secrets and shit like that. Dude. Fucking is. It's. This is why I can't help but recommend the original, because it's like, for that particular time, for that such a beauty they could come out with that system, I think earlier than that.
Yeah, I would say the same.
2006, 420.
Hit.
Lark with a serious timelines. I don't even know what Toshihua is.
It's the flight period before the end of the Heian and the start of the, what the fuck is that period of time called? I don't know. Not my favorite.
The Han Dynasty.
Nope, wrong.
I have no clue. Hey, about anything. Pretty cool that you know.
I was a weeb before I was not a weeb.
Oh, understood.
Yeah.
Right,
More like
Yes.
Heian,
It's my favorite period of time, just because it was the dumbest period of time. Like, I find it so infuriatingly stupid, and I love it.
you tell me why.
Okay, so, there's this book called, like, The Tales of Genji, and it's bad. Don't read it, it's bad. But it is the first book that was reportedly written by a woman, so, like, that's alright. Anyway, it details how Japan during that time period had this thing about making everything too complicated. For example, if you lost a battle where you had to shoot an arrow through 3 rings, you had to drink from the boot of shame.
Okay.
What the fuck is the boot of shame? It's a literal boot of the person who won. Why? I don't know. Seems like a good idea. And I would love to force my players to do that.
Okay, so there's like all these like factually accurate, ridiculous things that you'd like to.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah. It's stupid and restrictive and awful, and I would like to see some person try and navigate it. Just because... Oh, could you imagine just being like, hello, character who won, take off your shoe. Character who lost, drink from the boot of shame.
I do not want him to drink from my shoe. I don't know where his mouth is.
You must, because it's technically under the orders of the prince. Like, it was a thing. It's written down in the rules.
Or else your shoe will be taken from you.
Actually, I think it's that you lose your position of being the victor.
I don't want my wet shoe back. I don't want to get my shoe back. But I'll lose my... Okay, great. So my Jordans are gone. Great.
I know you paid a lot of money for that shoe, but you participated in this competition game, so now you must lose your shoes.
My Yeezys, man. That's hilarious. That's good. I didn't know that. Well, I did know the whole complication thing, but
yeah.
I also actually.
Well, I mean, it's among other complications. It's just that one is the stupidest and my favorite.
Yeah, I would love this.
Yeah. If it just. I don't quite. I really want to introduce like an honor system. Like I would like it to be roleplay based. And I want charisma and honor to be different, but I don't know how to do that.
What would you describe honor as in your head?
Honor very loose.
Where's that?
That is a thing. It's I'm gonna go to 5e tools. That is actually a legitimate thing.
Oh, cool.
What is honor though? Like in terms of like what you guys are thinking about what honor is?
It's what you do in the context of society that is considered the right thing to do. Not the correct thing to do or the good thing to do, it's the right thing to do.
Oh, okay, so societal. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's some kind of like almost like social acceptance type stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. And if you're playing an upper class character and you don't follow that, there's a lot of consequences, specifically if we're playing a game based in Japan, where there are very, very strict rules about what you can and cannot and should not do, and oftentimes they're contradictory. So you have to weigh against what kind of honor penalty you want to take.
Holy crap, paladins move over.
Yeah. For example, like if you're a samurai, and you're playing specifically a character whose lord is doing the wrong thing. Like he's trying to invade another lord's territory, that lord has done nothing wrong, that kind of thing.
Sorry.
The right thing to do would be to stop him, but the honorable thing to do would be to do what your lord says.
Is it good now, Pat?
Yes.
Pat, it shouldn't be echoing anymore. I lowered Lark's. Her voice was actually louder than everyone else's on my thing. I realized it was.
Oh.
It's not on you, Lark. It's me.
Okay. Yeah, I was just getting double Lark.
Double Lark.
I just turned on the.
No, that wasn't you, Lark. Don't worry. Oh, yeah. It's just a settings thing. You can also change it in Discord. Because I think Discord.
I'm offended.
What?
Oh, you're trying to get us out of your stream? Like our voice?
Classic.
No, I have the stream muted so I can't hear us.
Okay. So, what program are you using to broadcast to you? Okay. You need to separate the channels for what goes through. trying to remember how to do that.
I'll open up OBS right now so I can talk through it as well. OBS. It's in the game. Alright. I don't want the new version. You already ruined it by making it. Oops, the new version. So you know how you create scenes and then you create the sources? In the sources, there's an audio mixer. When you build your scene, you want to go ahead and go to, let me see if it's properties or filters. Because right now I have desktop audio for what I'm doing right now, but I think you can switch it from desktop audio to our alternative audio source, or advanced audio source. So there's mic. Oh, so that's what you want to do. Right click on your audio, go to advanced audio properties, and take off desktop, the desktop audio that isn't like your video.
Yeah, you'll want to.
Oh, really? Oh, I have like 4.
That should be in your settings. If you go to OBS normal settings, like the file, you should be able to.
That's what you.
It could be there, or it would be in the mix. If you edit your settings, if you go to like file settings, you should be able to get it to where you can separate them out. It's been a minute since I've done that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure this out. Is that like the cortisone, like leveling mark? Is that what you're talking
It is, but I'm afraid to talk until this is fixed.
about? No. Yeah. And what was happening is like you were coming through you were coming through our microphones. That's all.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're echoing. All of us just like we lowered. So all we do is right click on you. Like like Pat comes through like freaking like a bass, like his bass and subwoofer like going off. So I always have to lower his because he has a great mic that like is really loud. So even like at the lowest, Pat is like the loudest out of everybody, which is great. It has nothing to do with Pat. It's not a big deal. It's not.
Alright, cool. I think I might still be coming through your microphones though.
Are you? Yeah, that's what you're hearing. The stream right now is capturing all of Discord.
Oh.
It's Super Master Ball.
Wanna hear about the 4 classes of prostitute?
Yeah. I think all the stream wants to hear about it.
Okay, so back to Passion of Lark, because I love reading about this stuff, and it's like my favorite thing.
Do it.
Guess what? That's my passion, is reading about the different classes of prostitutes in different parts of the world. Yay.
Makes sense.
So the first one is, it comes from, there's a group in Japan that have historically been considered a separate race to the Japanese, even though they are genetically like 100% similar. It's just, they're considered a, like a...
Sub-race, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's called the, I know one of them is the Shinin. But it's the 2 people that basically form up the bulk of the Yakuza and the, like, not gambling parlors, but a lot of the illegal activity that is not directly correlated to gangs is these 2 groups, because they are not, they're no longer banned from taking normal jobs, but they're highly discriminated against. Yeah. They don't have access to formal education, they don't have access to a lot of good jobs. It's hard for them to move out of their, like, ghettos, basically, because no one wants to let them live in their apartment buildings. It's bad. And in historical Japan, which, I mean, this continues on to this day, but in the yesteryears of the great beyond, they were considered the lowest tier of prostitute, which means that they didn't have access to the traditional training of, say, a courtesan or a geisha. And this meant that a lot of them had more freedoms when it comes to what they did and did not want to do, because they were not required to say yes to anything, because, you know, there's no expectations. But at the same time, they were in a very precarious social situation because they depended on their customers for their livelihood, and they didn't have like a house or a prostitution ring to help them.
Right.
So they had to accept a lot of jobs that were very bad, and they didn't have a whole lot of respect. So it was a very rough situation for them. The second tier, which is technically not a prostitute, but could be considered the same style, is the geisha, who were more like pop stars than like actual prostitutes. But at the same time, they often doubled as a mistress. Because they could reach such heights of popularity, it was considered a good thing to have a geisha that was willing to have sex with you, because geishas were actually not required to have sex with anybody, and you couldn't even pay one to do so. Because they were considered such a protected class, they weren't, the only rights you had to a geisha was to her singing voice, her musical abilities, and if she was requested to make tea for you, that's it.
Straight how idols are used right now.
Yeah. And then if she decided that she would like to, you know, be your mistress or sometimes wife, but usually no, because they had so much debt from the training, it'd be really hard to get a geisha to like be your wife, because you'd have to pay off their debts.
But that's pretty much
oftentimes, yeah. Oftentimes it was considered a like incredible honor to be given that kind of like gift by a geisha specifically. So they were like the perfect woman, basically. And then the next class was the actual prostitution, where they were given like extensive training from the ages of like 14 up until 25. They were not allowed to take a single customer until their training was done. They went through like hell and back to be able to do this kind of stuff. And most of it wasn't even sexual training. It was mostly about like social rules.
Hospitality and hospitality.
How to... They were basically trained on how to be the perfect wife, because what they were expected to do was to live with the person that they were being bought by.
Right.
Because that person usually already had a wife, but in specifically the Heian period, men were supposed to have multiple partners, and of that, the courtesans were supposed to be one of their partners. So the better your courtesan lover was, the higher your social status must be. And so the prostitutes were actually one of the highest classes in all of Japan, because they held so much respect and sway over a person's political career. So if you could convince like a really high up...
That makes sense.
Yeah! Isn't it cool? And then the final form is actually
Frieza!
Some noble... Yeah! Well, I mean, kind of. It's a noblewoman who decided to pursue another path, and they would often be the mistresses of the higher social standing men, and then it would boost their social standing. And so they were usually not paid in money, they were paid in access. So if you were sleeping with the prince, you were able to gain access to all of the stuff that the prince had without having to be the queen. And oftentimes you could even become the queen later on if, you know, you had seduced them and you got married.
The thing gets done?
Yes!
Okay, see, here's the funny thing, like, I've absorbed so much Japanese literature, right, and just, like, in general, but I never really knew how the rankings all worked, so, like, I've never really understood, like, shit, like, this person is technically a prostitute, but they're just as powerful as, like, the left arm of the king, and it's like, how the fuck did this happen? Oh, it's because they're noble as well. But like,
well, they have the same social status of a noble because they have so much political sway.
It's like, you know those
yeah.
Like there was one story I remember. Literally, like she had so much political capital, she could like pretty much assassinate like the child king because her kid wasn't gonna get the throne. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how is no one doing anything to her? And everyone's like, we can't touch her. She's like got all this support.
Yeah, like where's that coming from? How does someone who is literally called a prostitute, because it was considered like it was not a dishonorable thing to tell someone, like how does that equate to having so much power? And they like fucking boss ass bitches, a lot of these ladies. And it was because they were able to, who they decided to sleep with determined who was going to be king, especially if you got to that really high-ranking tier where you were trained, you had like noble blood in you, probably not actually a noble woman, but you had like that kind of heritage. Like
you might have been the product of like a communion between like a level 3 noble.
Yep.
And then you became that individual that whether you're female within the race, kind of gain that rank, but you could never get a full noble rank. So concubine was almost like a better route to go.
Yep. Especially since a lot of these women weren't able to truly get married because it was considered beneath their social standing. Because they held such a protected class, it was beneath them to ever get married. Didn't matter to who. And so in their older age, if they weren't able to become the leader of a house or like the teacher of future courtesans, it was considered a good thing to do to become a concubine and then try and get your son to be a powerful noble. Because then you'd be secured for life.
So much sense. You know what's funny? Because I've never had someone like you question. So you talking about something like this?
Yeah.
So I would never understood this. But this
I
makes
find
so
the
much
political
sense.
intrigue. Political intrigue is like my favorite thing next to a couple of other things, which depending on the day can also be my favorite thing. But political intrigue, isn't it cool?
Yeah, it just makes so much sense to what the fuck I've been reading and not understanding.
It's one of my games in a nutshell.
What, concubines?
No, political.
Oh, okay, wait. Why are so geishas? So wait, level 2 is geisha. So when we hear about geishas, they're entertainment. They're still seen as meh. Compared to like.
So there are actually within each class, minus the first tier, there are levels of who is the most popular. In any of them, if you get to be the best, you can have all the power in the world within your social sphere. So like if you're a part of the discriminated class, you will never be able to interact with the government, sadly, because you can't. But you can have a lot of sway over local government, because oftentimes local government had a lot of sway over, or like it was kind of controlled by the people who had like the weapons and the ability to run gambling parlors, which everybody likes gambling and drinking, go figure. So you could gain a lot of power through that. But if you're a geisha or a courtesan or a noble who was working their way up to probably become a wife, but at the time was probably a concubine, if you were the best, they could all obtain the same amount of power. It just took a different amount of time. Because geishas, their training started at like 6 and went all the way until they were in their mid to late 20s. And then with courtesans, they started later in life, but they also ended earlier, so their career was a lot longer. But geishas were able to work until they were in their late 40s.
Right. Okay, so man, it always makes me so fascinated. I wonder if that's still the same kind of like system that they have in Japan right now.
No.
Or if it's much more shamed upon now.
It's you can't be a like you can still be what I haven't like just because it's easier to classify. Like 1 and 2, those still exist. Because geisha is like a source of national pride. Right. They're very highly trained. It's considered a respectable thing to do. They're not allowed to be prostitutes anymore, so that was an avenue that got removed. But also, you can look at it in that, you can't. And then, of course, anyone in a precarious situation where they're depending on other people for their livelihood, some people are going to turn to prostitution, and because the Japanese government still does not count a lot of these people on the census, they're not arrested for it, so they're allowed to continue prostitution, but if they get caught, they will be arrested, but then they're also not considered people. So it's this really weird situation. Like, I think it was the 2016 census, they were counted as a third of a person. So, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's so funny. It's funny because like during that time period, like we always talk about how like the ancient Greeks were so lax about sex and this and that. Like it's like no, the whole fucking world was like like everywhere you go, like there was this like an understanding of like the power of sexuality, right?
Yep.
And now it's just like
And
oppressive thing. Holy fuck.
Yeah. Entire social classes were built around the power that sex can have over people, and so a lot of the people, to make up for that and to kind of contextualize the kind of power that this could have over a person, the people who had that kind of power were given a social class to fit that, so that people were able to understand where a person ranked in society, because that was considered very important. And I always found that very interesting, and so I tried to do a lot of reading into it, specifically that. So I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then, it branched out from there where I was like, I love political intrigue. Woo!
So well, we could also technically go over classes too.
Oh, where, well,
or would that
there
be
are classes.
Yeah.
It would be very, very hard because you'd have to be knowledgeable. I could give people handouts on how they're supposed to act and what they're supposed to do.
That'd be hard.
It would be hard. It would take a lot of studying.
See,
So,
I won't lie. Like,
I
to
would
me,
love-
what's interesting is the RP, how hard the RP of that would be.
It
right?
would be
Like,
very hard. It
that's
really
great.
would.
Like, I love that. That's a challenge.
See, this is
Oh,
where
I mean,
that
I
shit would thrive in a forum than a tabletop. And this is where that kind of
Yeah.
shit would lie.
Yeah. Where you'd have time to think about it. Because while it'd be very easy if you know what you're doing, or if you know the rules to kind of navigate around it, everyone else who doesn't know it or who is reading it for the first time would be at a severe disadvantage, because if I was the one running it or the one playing it, I wouldn't go easy on that person, because
Well, the rules
I
matter
know the
so much.
rules, and that gives me the powers.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you just weren't made to be a level 4 prostitute.
You must stay. Get the belly of the 0.1.
You never got your name, haha, peasant. Yeah.
Oh, man. So,
What I
actually,
think would be interesting is to have, if I were to run this, to have that be a class. And so set it not in like, you're one of the 4 tiers of sex worker. It'd be more like everyone is in the social status of being middle upper class. So royalty, not a part of the inner court. And you get to pick of the classes. You can be a noblewoman with a lot of education, but you don't have any marriage prospects. Or you can be a prostitute and you've got a lot of political power, but you don't have children yet, and that's very important. Or you can be a noble man and you are married, but you haven't been formally trained in this, and that means that you can't progress, even though your wife very much can. And so you got married so that you could bring it up. And you have a lot of land, but you don't have a lot of power. Or you could be a samurai and your master is currently doing something that's gonna give him the throne.
I kind of feel like this is resource management.
Probably.
I'm like, this should be just a resource management game. Like, everyone's like technically like merchant class type, right? Where not merchant, but you know what I mean?
Well, you're selling and buying honor.
It's fucking Waka. Yes.
Is that what drawing a face is?
This douche canoe. So,
I love
do
his headdress. super styling.
Lightsabers? No. Here's the sunblade.
Well, you guys, it's been fun, but I'm getting tired, so I'm gonna go.
Good night, sweet dreams.
Good night.
I gotta hear the haiku. The haiku warning's hitting me. Let's see. I've not played this game a million times. I still love those moments. Forgot about this part where you have to fight him in the town. Hands! Come get these paws! Come get these paws, people. There you go, let's get the sunlight out. Fuck him up! Okay, you spin in a circle. See, that's kind of do
That's how you know where to lay down.
Oh my god. First played it, I had to good shot. Oh, that just whips you in. That's the battery of the fight.
Anyway, so yeah, if I were to run a game based out of Japan, it would be a little harsh.
I think your phone really appreciates the stuff.
Yeah,
Or is this before Future?
There's your kaboom.
this would be slightly before. Basically during the era where everyone was like, I love painting and my garden being pretty, and I don't think that poor people exist. And that was that era in a nutshell.
Okay. In terms of the Inca one, what was that about?
I adore South American proto-nations, would that be? Because a lot of them were incredibly scientifically and mathematically amazing. They had some of the best architecture in the world. And I got up my hands on a map of what Tenochtitlan apparently looked like. It was built on a grid and it had an irrigation system. Machu Picchu had working water.
Same. No, yes. Me too.
I'm so glad that everybody else is a nerd. Oh my god! And they came at the right time too, and they really nailed it with the symbolism for the wind serpent, and I was so angry when they burned that beautiful... They had a completely mobile city, like... We'll never build anything like it ever again!
Well, I guess I should cease existing. You know?
It's not your fault.
No,
It's not your fault.
I'm making a joke.
Why didn't the Machu Picchuans just build a wall to keep the Spanish?
They did. That's the thing. They did, and it didn't work. Walls don't work.
Oh shit, they did do this. Wait.
They did.
They needed to make them 10 feet higher.
I know.
Oh.
They had to learn from China. They didn't learn from China. So.
That wall didn't work either. It's cracked right in the middle of it. Like, there's like a huge, like, 10-mile split where there's just no wall.
So give me a description of the story.
So it would depend on which civilization my players know the best. If it's the Inca, then it would be a travel along the Andes Mountains, because then I would get to showcase the different kinds of roads and the different kinds of economics that were going on in that city.
Wait a minute.
And
I have mountains? What?
Yeah!
My name's Andy.
You also have mints.
I have a fault line? What? Okay,
when that fault
sorry.
line blows, you're gonna kill me. I blame you.
Wait, what?
The San Andreas fault line? Yeah, it's gonna murder
we all
me
have
in
faults. Andy's is just visible from miles away.
God
Andy's faults are so big that, you know, they've been created by tectonic plates. What the heck, man?
Shit, dude. I don't know. Sometimes I just want to see the world burn, man. Can you blame me?
Anyway, after a quick trek along Andy's back, we're gonna stop at a couple of villages. The first one would be, I would like to have my players visit the Crystalline Caves, because they're an incredible geological find, and it would be really interesting for them to see the decomposition and the crystallization of those bones, because it's really cool. And then you'd go from there to a couple of other villages and the death practices that were being done by them, because you have the Incan mud mummies, as well as a couple of really interesting rituals around death that were only practiced in and along the Andes Mountains. And then, of course, you'd end in Machu Picchu, because irrigation is a godsend. It just... aqueducts! They're so cool!
So could you tell me, in terms of who the characters were? Were they actually people from South America? Are they...
Yeah, they'd have to be from the surrounding... Yes. Because it would be set before the Spanish Invasion, because after that most people started dying of plague, and I just don't want to do that. I just don't. Yeah, or you get shot, and like, there was no coming back from that if you were native. Like, they did not know how to treat bullet wounds, and a lot of people just died within hours of being shot. It was, and like, there would be no winning. That's the thing. There was no... You don't come back from that, and I would hate to put anybody through that, because it's so defeating.
Oh, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then the other one, if people know more about the Aztec Empire, then, again, there were 16 social classes, and you'd get a couple to pick from, just so that I can fill everyone in on what that entails and the things that they can do in the future. Basically. For the Inca, 100% are FP. For the Aztecs, it would be a mixture of both, just because it was so warlike, and a lot of that would be focused on expansion. So it would be more of like, you are a group of adventurers that were commissioned by the Sun King, technically that would be, and you would be going out and bringing people back. So, you know, moral decisions about who you get to kill. but a lot of that would be RP as well because these were so complex, and I would like to have people experience that because a lot of people don't. And also, I just want to have a map of Tenochtitlan because it's my favorite city.
You say these words so like eloquently. I don't like. That's one of the reasons why I'm interested in hearing you talk about it. You're very like. You're like talking like. Here's the thing. I actually really like ancient like civilizations. I've always, I think almost everyone is kind of fascinated by like, which is within our world's history. But South America, like a lot of those names, I've never been familiar with how they were pronounced, and you're just like,
yeah.
Say very quickly.
Yeah, my goal is just go for it. Like, you know, there's no right way to say it because we don't know how to say them anymore. So just go for it.
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah.
Actually, how many ancient dialects have died in South America?
So many. Pretty much all of them, actually, because a lot of the people, once they were done being killed, they got assimilated. And they got assimilated by literally ripping them out of South America and putting them in other parts of South America alone. So a lot of them lost their language because they weren't able to teach it to anyone because they died before they could have children. So most of them died out. And of that, a lot of the only things we really have left, because there was no written language, it's just statues and monuments and these like incredibly important, like just beautiful roads and architecture and infrastructure, and whatever we have of the writings that the Spanish did before they needlessly and thoughtlessly killed off a nation. So we know like a little bit about the Aztecs and a little bit about the Inca because the Spanish were like, oh, these backward savages do little knots to indicate time. Oh my, let's write down the name of this thing. And I'm like, you fucking asshole. Come here. Bring an archaeologist. Smack. Yeah. I have had more than one dream.
I keep thinking you are an archaeologist.
I mean, low-key, that was a dream when I was a child. But then I was like, oh man,
money.
I can't travel. I'm poor.
Steal that dog? Sally stole that dog, dude.
Oh, he's wagging his tail.
Like he's a dog and he fucking picked him up and stole him.
Oh,
Crazy.
I missed that.
Disappointing.
I just saw a dog wag its tail.
No, gotta deal with these Yakuza moles.
You say Yakuza moles?
Okay, go.
Yeah.
All you're doing is like...
Yeah, so if anyone would like to play the game of the Inca or the Aztec, let me know, because I want to run it! You just hear a lot of me going, I love math, like, just all the time. So, yeah. I'm sorry.
Anything RPG also, it's awesome. If I get to learn about something, that's also good too.
There he goes, he got the pig! He's gonna fucking eat the
Oh, well, that one has hearts. So cute.
I'm sorry, who is this who is insulting math? Who are you, man-fed?
No, dude, exactly, I saw you do Alright, take on this fucking gangster. kid.
Why?
Bolsters. Now, as me not being very good on the reading, bolsters.
There's actual people watching you guys.
Maybe they joined while I was doing a rant about South America, and they've been like, "Oh, education."
Hey, Rob, is this your, who are these people? Are they from your group?
Fortress.
Yeah.
Well, Lark, whenever you get it done, just talk to Katie or to Pat or to Juan or to Rob about getting it posted.
Yeah. Just need to figure out which culture I want to do, because there are a lot.
You can do a vote if you want. Like, you can technically, like, I don't know, what's the best way? Have you guys ever done votes around, like...
Or like a poll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one said Johto League. Well, yeah. Look, I think they can post a thing for you.
Yeah, I will post which cultures I would like to do the most, because there's 5, and then go from there.
You just post it and say like heart react for this culture, sad react for this one. That might be
Ooh,
easiest.
that's a good idea.
That's usually how I do voting things in Discord.
Do you do it
Where-
in the lounge,
what-
or where do you put it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this server, but in other servers, it's just there haven't been this many different channels, so it's just kind of been the main one. But for one, if it's a one-shot sort of thing, could be, you know, multiple sessions. But if it doesn't have anything to do with Sword Coast, then I would post it in the one-shots, and then do it that way. Just say, you know,
That makes sense.
yeah.
So yeah, so just put some context around it and then put down
Yeah.
poll, and then you're good to go.
Alright, I'll be back.
This game
Holy.
is pretty.
Oh no! Yeah, you just missed meeting some folks, dude.
I've been out of the loop, Lark. I'm sorry.
Oh, no! No, please don't question me. I don't know how to explain myself. Like, which culture would you like to have a one-shot of?
I think you
Oh.
have to put the options that you want, because
People
I
won't
think people would think that you're gonna post something versus if you're asking people what you would like to do and give some context for people who aren't in the call. Just say.
What is context?
Hey, I wanna run this game. You
Put
know,
a heart on the culture you'd like to do the most. Oh man.
Yeah, I think it needs a lot more context. Because there's like 7 people on this call. Yeah, 7 people, Pat,
A lot more.
listening. And there's like 30 some people actually in the server.
Okay.
Like, are you gonna post ones, or are you asking people to post culture?
I'm gonna post them. I just need to edit it so that there's context.
That's okay. She's like editing it little by little. It's getting long. Slowly. If you press Alt Enter, you can just
Yeah, you could do it all in one message.
yeah, Control. Is it Shift Enter? And you can just
But
like.
then,
make
wouldn't
spaces.
you not be able to heart an individual?
Oh,
You could do different emoji, like heart for Japan, sun for Mayan, things like that. I feel like that'd be easier to track versus individual messages. But that's just me. You do you.
Well, not individual messages. I thought they'd just put like a little face or like a little heart, this thing, and then I could just count how many.
Right.
How would you do this? Type
So
it all out?
yeah, you'd have to do individual messages if you're using the same emoji. But if you do it like all in one message, like you post them as a list and it's all one message, then you'd have to do like different emojis for different cultures. Like I'll post what I mean.
Okay. I am confusion. I'm just gonna do what I know how to do.
I'd actually recommend doing it as one single post because this is going to get lost in one shot if it's all separate. To be
Yeah, just put your thoughts out there and then we can like, fuse it all together. That's fine.
All right. This is rough.
No, like these guys are really organized. Like I honestly like the way they
like
if you look up at what they've done, you can see some of their examples.
Kind of like that.
All right.
That is a good idea. I will just put down the options and then, yeah, that works. Okay. I'm gonna change things again.
Katie, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are your notes
I would say they're pretty organized. I'll post.
But you're not like you don't put post-it notes on top of your notes. Are you like one of those types of
No, I have a Google Doc. I'll share one of the campaigns that I'm in, so it makes it easy.
Yeah, because I think one of the reasons why I'm so intimidated by wanting to do a campaign is like.
Oh, are you asking as a DM or?
No. I was actually asking. Now there's 3 questions, but it's okay because that's fine. I actually want to know in real life your note taking for school.
For school, it's way different. I write out everything, and then I use different colors for like. Yeah, I mean for the most part, Let me find. I'm actually taking some notes right now, but let me find a better example. This is
I've always been curious because I was never a note taker. Zero note taker.
Me too. This has been a journey to try and get better notes.
I remember I was the type of person, like I saw someone's notes, they were so good, I just went, fuck it, I'll never. So after that day, I just never took notes. But I feel like as a player, it's a little easier, but I'm still actually not a good note taker. I actually just memorize everything. Like Andy's campaign, I constantly just memorize everything mentally, and I just keep spewing it out, but I've never taken a single, like, proper note. But I remember most of it. We'll see. Andy's got a lot of lore, so we'll see.
I do.
Slip up. But I haven't. Nah, a little bit here. I need a pensive. That's what I need. When I saw that in Harry Potter, I was like, God. Just take that silver liquid out of my head and just put it into a bowl.
I'm gonna switch mics for this.
Why? What happened?
I don't know. When I listen to myself, I'm like, that's not cool. That
You
doesn't
don't like
sound
your voice?
good.
My voice sounds like I'm like lisping a little bit, which is whatever. I don't care. I'm like suffering succotash. It's okay. It's
How
like it just
dare
sounds like a family stream.
you?
You're at the dinner table and everyone's just talking about random shit, and you're like, "Shut up, mom! I'm playing video games. I hate you. I'm talking about something." Just joking. Japan, heart, Inca mind, suck. Arabian Peninsula.
Alright, that should be better.
Wait, Lark, so you're saying you know about all these?
Yep. I went through a huge phase where I wanted to be an archaeologist, and then they were like, if you ever travel, you're gonna die. And I was like, damn it.
Hey.
Why would you die?
Archaeologist. What?
Yeah, I wanted to be an archaeologist, and then I wanted to be a disease researcher, and they were like, wow, you're gonna super die if you do that one. And I was like, I'll just cure people who are sick by creating vaccines. And they were like, guess you're gonna die. And then like a whole bunch of other things that were like, death incoming. And then I was like, fine, I'll just sit in a lab by myself doing genetic research.
What are you right now?
Right now, I'm a med major. So specifically though, I'm a neurochemist like kind of major. So I'm doing both a chemistry major and a neuroscience, which is biology. Because then I'm going to sit in the lab by myself writing reports about how mice's brains react to chemicals out of the harm's way of any disease.
I would want to do Mali, Ethiopia, and Sub-Saharan. There's no but. I'm just like, that sounds cool.
Then
I actually want
it.
to do all of them. I'm just gonna put a new body count.
I think the but is, but there's so many other cool ones.
I'm just gonna put 100%, which means all of them.
Actually, I think 100% means the Arabian Peninsula.
Damn it! Fuck! Take it out.
It's alright.
No, I want to do them all.
You sure you don't want to go to one of the
No, I want to
greatest
do them
libraries
all. I'm
in
saying
the
whatever. To be honest, my opinion is if everyone wants to do it, I'll do it. That's pretty much it.
Oh,
Let's
nice.
do this. I'm hungry. Because like, yeah, any one of those I would do. And like,
Yeah.
this is very different. I don't even know how an RP is. Because to be honest, it's not like you can create a character, but you also kind of have to know your own.
Well, you'd be under my guidance, and I would be helping a lot of people by narrowing it down. And of that,
I can see
each
you as a
one,
TA, to be honest.
I was.
Were you? Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that. I used to troll the TAs though, so.
Asshole.
That's not
Wait,
cool.
when did the group split up?
I think they're talking about note taking.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yo, I want your notes. And I was like, don't give him fucking notes. He's gonna cheat.
Ah.
Also, I think you're missing stuff, Rob, but you'll get there. That's yeah. Yeah, no, I know I know what that area is supposed to pertain, but you're getting there.
So the way that these guys set up their thing, which you may want to look at using. And I'm just pinging you Andy's.
What?
You know how you like put down your DM Andy, description, level, time and date.
Oh. I mean, I would like to start everyone at a higher level just because some of these social classes would connotate older people.
It's the kitty patootie.
Alright. Lark. I know a lot about these cultures and not a lot at all. And I wonder if you're in the same boat as I am. Like I know a lot about the culture of Japan, the Ikas, but I don't know as much to make like an in-depth character.
Ooh. See, of these, each one has like a subsection where I am an expert in, so I'm not going to be like, you get to be any Native American tribe you want to be. I'm going to be like, no. Congratulations, you get to be Cree. Or like, hello, introduction, you're not going to be that. Guess what you're going to be? You're going to be Inuit. Like, I'm not just going to open it up so that anyone can be anything. I'm going to narrow it down to my expertise.
I can't be a Mohawk.
No! Go sit! I did not grow up in the Plains region.
I'll say this, it does sound like you're gonna have a lot of fucking control on this thing. And that's something I'd be careful on because compared to a tabletop in a forum game, once you have pretty much micromanaging your players, it does stop becoming fun. I will say that you are on the wet path to micromanaging your players of what they want to play in your game.
Well,
and on top. No. But once you get your choice, it's what type of class would fit you the most, how to play that particular class, what's expected of you of that class, of that people, what's expected of you of that timeline, rather than what the tabletop and forum is. It's fictional. It necessarily doesn't have to be the truth. You can stretch the truth. You can allow some playancy and all that jazz on the subject matter, so your players can still have fun and incorporate themselves and put a bit of their story into your story. That's the thing you have to be careful on, because it seems like you just want your story, your world. That's where you're going on. Using forms and experience, that usually kills instantly.
I mean, well, it depends. There are some things where, like, just to make it feel like it's a part of the culture, if you're going to be a certain background, I can't let you be a fighter, because that would kill it. Like, why are you a courtesan with a badass giant sword? Like, it just wouldn't work. But at the same time, I don't want to force them to do anything. I just want to be like, hey, fit it within the cultural context, or come up with a very good explanation and you can do what you want, but here are some guidelines. And of course, I'm not going to let someone be like, oh yeah, I am from a Native American tribe within the 7th century, and I learned how to fly across the continent. I'm like, no, don't do that to me. I don't know how to handle that.
So,
but at the same time,
it doesn't sound like magic would really be in your game, right?
Probably magic, but like you'd have to be subtle about it. Like, I'm not gonna let someone hail meteors down on a, like, entire continent. Like, not that. But you can definitely blow up a village or, like, a small city if you want.
I'd say if you're trying to keep it realistic, just do no magic. Which will be hard with 5e because a lot of classes have some sort of like magic ability. So you might want to try looking outside of 5e. There are lots of other systems that you could use for something similar.
Do you have any suggestions?
I do. I would look into mutants and masterminds and use a very, very low power setting. If you do that, you essentially, like, I've seen people skin it to be you're basically yourself fighting the zombie apocalypse. I've also seen it powered slightly up to where it's the equivalent of the kids and characters of Gravity Falls. You can scale it up to being Batman, you can scale it up to being Superman, you can be cosmically powerful. But if you use a low power system, it allows for a lot of flexibility. You just have a certain number of points in order to create your abilities, and you go from there. If you just want to be like somebody who's physically tough, that's fine. You can punch somebody down, you can use your sword, whatever. It's all built in the system.
Very cool. I will look into that. Yeah, because I want to keep it. I want to keep the feel of being in these cultures, and part of that is limiting people and forcing them to figure it out, unfortunately. And I don't want to micromanage anyone because you're right, that does kind of kill it. So it's this rough balance because I can't think of a way to give people like the ability to teleport across worlds or like instantly do something without kind of ruining the feel of the culture. Like if you can just breeze through a very complex social situation in Heian, Japan, then like you've done it. Like that's great, you figured it out, but you might not feel like you're in Heian, Japan.
I would not use Dungeons and Dragons at all.
Mutants and Masterminds it is.
Another system that Rob is more familiar with than I am, I've had very little experience with, but it would be good for, is possibly World of Darkness with no expansion.
All right, cool.
It's World of Darkness is also a little bit easier to digest than Mutants and Masterminds. If you've never DM'd a game before, I would highly recommend starting out by just running a module for 5th edition. 5th edition is one of the simplest Dungeons and Dragons, and I guess kind of in a way, almost one of the easiest RPs in something everybody here is familiar with. You've obviously played D&D, so you're kind of familiar with the rules. And then from there, start looking after that. Creating your own world and creating your own, I guess, guidelines for people to act within is a lot of world building. That's if you've never DM'd before, that's a very lofty goal for a first timer.
All right, so first I need to DM. I just really want to share the love.
Yep.
I would also, since we said stay away from 5e for this, and the reason being because 5e is inherently a little bit of a magical system. Even at level 1, a wizard's casting firebolts. You can cast friends to charm your way out of a situation if you've got a decent enough charisma. And if you're going to be restricting either access to magic or the way things are expected to work, you might end up with a little bit of salt from your players who feel miffed when the spell clearly says you can do X and the world is telling you can't do X.
That would make sense, yeah. So, for my notes, branch away from 5e, look into Mutants and Masterminds as well as World of Darkness.
Yeah.
Which I get that I'm not going to be doing this anytime soon, but I just want to read up and make sure that I know what's going on, and then I can do something else first to get my toe in, and then step fully into the rest of it.
Also, another advice is don't get lost in the details. You don't necessarily have to map out everything. That can totally kill world building ASAP when you start from the tiny details going up. And this is, even though I haven't DM'd a game, I've ran and created a lot of forum roleplay games, and that's what killed me a lot. Is sometimes I go to the minute details and expect a certain level of behavior from my players, or expecting to know what kind of game they're gonna go in and read everything, which that's dumb. Don't ever expect that. That is a lie. People don't read. I don't read. That's a lie and a half. No one ever reads. So that's the thing you have to go in is these dum-dums aren't gonna read. I have to be able to explain and simplify everything. So that's what you probably have to do is simplify and not get lost in this kind of shit.
Yeah. I do have to kind of expect that not everyone has 5 years of extreme passion in this one subject.
Yeah, like no one's not gonna read an HR fucking handout of how to behave in a monster human alien battle organization in this linear dimension. No one's not gonna read that shit. It's dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I just ran a dance one-shot yesterday, and I felt really horrible posting like a half page of rules. I was like, this is not gonna make sense to like half the people reading. So yeah, like Ali said, you gotta dumb down a lot of things, especially if you're going like culture specific things that you need to like really study to understand. And then a tip that I would have is, at least for a lot of the people in the server, they seem to like playing meatheads, and they don't really care about like the history behind things. I mean, in speaking for myself too, I'm like, this magic bowl has all this cool stuff about it. It doesn't do anything. Okay, move on to the next thing. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm like that too sometimes.
Another
I've
thing.
I've kind of practiced on one of my friends who is not nearly as interested in history as I am. And what I've learned from that is that if something is big and beautiful and cool and you explain it in detail but not to the extreme, that makes them interested and they'll investigate. If something is small and minute, they're just gonna think it's stupid and walk away. So nothing important, unless it's like a trap or a trick or a puzzle, should be small. Or like, if you can't explain it in 2 sentences or less, then they're not really gonna care. Or they just are gonna kind of lose track.
Yeah. And if you're doing puzzles too, I've found that, so in one of my campaigns that I ran, I had what I thought was a very simple puzzle. And the party spent like a half an hour trying to figure it out, and they were obviously getting frustrated. So if they start guessing and they're not going in the right direction, you can have them roll like wisdom, arcana, or something to help give them like a hint or a step in the right direction.
That makes sense, yeah. Especially if it's a important puzzle, I would assume.
I mean, even
all
small
puzzles
ones
should be important.
Yeah, like I had one for one of my games where it was just like a simple like, who am I kind of puzzle, where it was like, what does a god never see, a king rarely sees, and the serf sees every day? Well, the answer was an equal, but no one was getting it, and one of the players came up with a really good answer, which was death, because that's something that gods obviously never see. Kings are well taken care of. Serfs are, living in mud. So that totally fit, and I accepted the answer.
So modifying when a player comes up with a creative, and I wouldn't say sufficient, but like well-fitting result. Like it's not a specific answer, it's just you have to figure it out.
Yeah, it depends on your campaign too, because there are some things that maybe it's like they need to have these specific items. They can't finagle that. But I don't know, like I found like puzzles that involve like trying to guess things. Players seem to have a little bit more fun if they get it right quickly, Not necessarily on the first try, but
within reason. Yeah, I don't want to design puzzles unless I'm always going to put an unless, because I do like having multi-layer puzzles that you have to come back to when you have more information. So it's just presented at first as like, there is a big pyramid. It's black and absorbs magic. You're not going to figure it out right now, but you will figure it out because there's readable information and you can find it within the storyline that I have given you. It's readily available. But I don't want to have like every puzzle be, you encounter it, you solve it, you walk through it. Some of it is going to be like, you find it. You're not going to solve it now and you don't have to, it's just there. Because I like that. I think it's interesting.
Oh yeah, totally. Gives it a little bit more mystery.
Oh, I fucking hate this part of this okami. Hella vertigo.
Oh.
Because her face.
No, you go across the fucking bridge. Wait, didn't they make this easier in later games? Stone, yeah. Especially the demon one, that was like near impossible. Give him the acne. Give him the acne. Yes, this is like, yeah, I'll say this. To those watching this is actually, I think, one of the hardest things in this game is the goddamn fucking block puzzles. And, yeah. No, try old-fashioned PS2, dude. Oh my god.
Oh shit, I forgot. I need to put a background on the character.
Oh, I'm so happy that people like the Arabian Peninsula and like sub-Saharan Africa. I'm so proud. I'm ready. It's because there was a recently released Disney movie about that entire
It's also
geographical
because
location.
in my game, we are in basically Egypt.
Oh, so it's also on people's minds.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to pull something out that's not Egypt. I know a lot about Egypt. I guess I could do Ethiopia. That'd be pretty easy. Or I could make a nomadic tribe, and it could be based around travel. Or I could put everyone in my favorite. Yes, that would be cool. Never mind. I can't tell you.
You know, you could even one-shot the Egypt one if it's something that people are really familiar with, just to see how it plays out.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
You can always leave it as like a cliffhanger too, in case you don't like how it goes, and be like, "Oh, it's a cliffhanger. That's the end, haha!" Rather than
It's a
Oh.
troll.
This was
Bye
one
bye.
section.
Hey,
I mean,
fun
it is
fact.
only a one-shot, right?
I mean,
Fun
you could
fact.
do more than one.
It could be a one-off. Well, yeah, but that is my excuse to not continue.
Mark's Tales of Travels.
Yeah. Which era of Egypt are you having your game in?
It's not like actually Egypt. It's just like
Oh, it's
Egyptian-esque
fantasy Egypt.
themes.
Flavor,
Yeah. They have like their civilization hugging this large river that was called the Silver Mine, now called the Crimson Trail because a lot of fucking people died. So
Aww.
fucking it. There's so much happening in this game. I'm excited from it. Katie
I'm
is exhausted from it.
I'm sorry,
say, Andy?
Robert.
Katie is exhausted from it.
Oh, you did it!
I'm mentally and emotionally exhausted. I got really upset today thinking about Kraken again.
Oh.
Pat and I were talking about it, and yeah, it's just like, oh gosh, Kraken. And then I did that thing and posted it in the RP chat.
What? What happened?
Basically, so I'm a dragonborn. He was born into a monastery. Doesn't know his actual parents because he either just got dropped off there or they found him. He doesn't know. Doesn't really care that much either. So he doesn't really have parent figures. Joined the party. People have died. His best friend died. His Juan's character. And during this climactic like mega fight, this guy who is also a dragonborn, who's kind of been somewhat fatherly towards him. He had betrayed us in earlier sessions, and sided with the bad guys, and the bad guys were like, "We have something on you, and you have to do what we say." And he kind of did, and he tried to kill us. And now during this climactic fight, he turned on them, and then he fell in lava and died. And I was a little, not gonna lie, a little triggered that certain people who had the means to save him did not. But it's
why wouldn't someone save him? I mean, I get that he betrayed the party, but
I think
he's trying.
Well, there was so much going on. There were so many enemies and a lot of big enemies with a lot of hit points, and I think people were mostly focused on doing damage, which is fine. But dude was literally like sinking in lava, and my character was gonna try and jump in lava until this gigantic creature erupted out of the lava, and I was like, well, I guess that's not happening anymore.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a campaign. I like playing survival campaigns because I like having people like punish me for being stupid. I just like it. I don't know. I like being forced to be innovative and smart and think a couple steps ahead. Yeah, it makes me happy. And he did something very similar where we were like, oh, we trust this guy and he's great. And then he betrayed us. And then we were like, but I mean, it couldn't all be lies. And then it turns out, no, it wasn't all lies. In fact, the betrayal was lies. And you're like, oh no. And then we go to like confront him and he's fighting against these people. And we're like, oh, we're gonna save him. And then it was like, oh, guess what? You totally have the means to save him. You just don't have the time. And we were like, why did you do this to us? Like, we should have been able to do it, and yet it was like, you just straight up cannot get to him in time. Like, you can do it. But, like, he's gonna drown in a couple of rounds, and you have to pick between damming up the river, which will take 6 rounds, or... and we're like, why? Why can't... We would have been, like, 1 round away from saving this guy, and it was so awful.
Oh, that's the worst, but... Yeah, that's kind of how this felt too. But it also felt like he was supposed to die anyways. Because so this whole thing was like just basically a lava pit with a walkway around it, and then there was a little center island with a little walkway going to the edges, just one, and we were basically on the opposite side. So it kind of looked like a startup button almost. And we were on the opposite side. We have to basically run around the entire ring and then run to the middle to get him. And there were all these baddies there, and it's like,
we're not gonna, yeah.
As a monk, there's really nothing that I could do.
Yeah, because you can't run fast enough to not melt your feet. You need to rely on the magic users who could chill it. And that's not...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have taken way too many turns.
Yep. And you're like, you know that this character was meant to die, but it still hurts.
Kitty,
what?
Not gonna lie, almost cried. Had to stop. Had to stop it.
Oh.
Had to stop it.
I think the ending is good.
Okay.
I had to make myself cry to get some of those noises.
Oh.
It was easy, Andy. It was so easy.
Oh shit. Oh
man. I can't help but like think that, you know, Arcane Hand could have been used to grab him out of the line. I fucking dropped Ellie in there. I knew the risk, but damn. Somebody had to do something.
Yeah. Well, he could have grabbed Grokken before he went under the wall.
His hit points are equal to his hit point maximum. Fuck. There was a lot of things y'all could have done, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping he was gonna go further, and I was like, fuck, as soon as they saw how far he. But also at that point, I think Rockin was technically like dead. He was underneath the lava.
Lava so I'm not saying this is one of my passion subjects, but volcanoes are cool. Lava is legit. Like it's there's so many different kinds of lava, and they all are different temperatures. But specifically the ones that are in like pits, so like in a caldera, they're so intensely hot. Even if you'd pulled him out, he probably would have lost. Realistically, he would have lost anything that touched it, because he would have had like basically 4th degree burns, if that even exists.
No.
Yeah. I think it only goes up to 3rd degree, right?
Yeah,
but it
only
probably
goes
would
up
have
to
like
3rd.
melted off his body.
Just 3rd degree is like literally melting off your skin and stuff.
Yeah, I've only had like up to a 1st degree, so.
Mechanically, the lava does 18 d10 damage.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what not fire, the air elemental that Pat has, she got over 100 damage in one turn.
It's still possible. Like, she has like 90 HP, and the average damage for that is just under 100. So if Andy had rolled just a little bit worse, she would have lived long enough to pull him out. And based on average HP and what blah blah blah, his mod, Roland's con mod and average HP, his hand would have been pretty close to being able to survive it too.
Yeah. Oh well. I already have ideas on what Boren wants to do regarding that anyways.
Yeah. Like, if Roland has average HP only, then he has slightly more HP than Ellie. Now, if he rolled and he rolled poorly, or if he rolled and rolled better, then there is a chance that Arcane Hand.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I was talking to Pat about it earlier today, and there are some ideas that I have to try and remedy the situation, but we'll see how it plays out. It probably wouldn't happen for a long time anyways, because we're so busy here.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah. You got a giant Megara to fight.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Got a lot of things going on here.
You all could just fucking bam.
We could,
Leave
but that's
Raj
not what
behind.
we're in for.
Be like, okay, we got the King's Heart. Fuck off, Raj. Bye. Dude.
Boren wouldn't let that happen. The Asaid is like his other best friend aside from Sam.
Oh. Damn.
He carried.
Remember when this guy was a fucking villain?
Yeah, and he is still Boren's friend.
Ugh.
At least Boren considered him a friend the whole time.
Ugh.
Like when we first encountered him, and he's just like, "Oh, you need to bow to me," and Boren's like, "Okay," and he bows.
And then he's like,
and then Raj's like, "Yeah, yeah." And Boren's like, "Hey, we're friends now."
see, this is how you treat a prince. Everyone else scowls, Boren's just like, alright. Yeah.
He doesn't care.
Ah, that's cute. That's a cool character development. I like that.
Characters who are willing to do stuff like that, they always turn out very interesting.
It's pretty cool. Like the heart of the party, I think.
Oh, Team Mom.
He's not really a mom, but he's just like I'll save you guys no matter the cost.
Oh, so he's Teen Big Brother?
I guess.
That sounds very much 1984.
He's glue.
Yeah, kinda.
He's the glue you accidentally get stuck on like your clothes and you can't get it apart, but you're okay with what happened. I'm kidding.
Oh my god. No, that's totally him. He's just like, hey, we're friends. This is happening, and everyone's like, Gordon, no, they're bad. But we're friends. I don't get it.
You know, off topic. Why do I do this to myself? Every time I find images, I get new ideas. I'm like, let me go change my one-shot character for next Wednesday's game because I have so much time. Yeah! Alright, let's just flush this character down the toilet.
I mean, you have over a week, so...
I know. That's what I get. I look at pretty pictures and I'm like, oh, this is pretty.
You have 1 week? 1 week?
I'll give you guys a clue about my character. Whoa! Yeah!
That's a barbarian, okay? Okay, you're cleric, right? Ric Flair, cleric.
I'm gonna try to be something that I'm not. Cool.
Ric Flair, I finally got it!
Or I could be Ric Flair. Oh, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Fleric. I could change my name right now. I'm totally down for that. I could just be Gold Dust. Joking. Oh shit. Oh shit. I didn't give this guy a name. I actually didn't give my guy a name. Fine. It's Ric Flair. Fuck it.
It's Sasana.
What's up, Robert?
Still playing Okami, man.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying something. Oh, look!
This guy. Yeah. Yeah.
We're cute.
100% accurate, dude.
Wait, who here? Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, it's Bubbles, fuck!
Surprise!
Saw it, dude.
Oh,
Not
no.
much.
You're only allowed to talk in your Scottish accent practice now.
Oh no!
Man,
Oh god,
It's not, oh no, it's oh no.
it's new. Hold on. Hold on, I have to like get my trigger words in here. So hold on. Brave. I'd rather be dead than complacent. Alright, alright.
How do I
think I got it?
You got it.
I think I got it.
That'd be great.
That'd be great. Aye, man. Shoot. Ugh. Gross.
Very good.
Why,
Very good.
why y'all make me do this? No! Ah!
Careful, one
No,
left
no,
turn
no.
and it turns into an Indian accent.
Oh my goodness. Okay, what is that? I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, right? I was in the same boat, and it's a fucking cute game.
Okay. You
I've
posted
only
a
heard-
thing somewhere.
Yeah. Bubbles, I vouched for you to come in here, and you say you
You
don't know
play-
what Okami is? I'm kidding.
You
I'm
play.
sorry.
You play it.
Cause I live under a rock? Maybe? I don't know. Oh! I recognize this art! Oh my gosh, I recognize this art! This has Amaterasu in it! Oh my gosh! I only know this because I'm a weeaboo nerd. Okay, how do I watch this without the sound? Because I don't want the sound on this thing, but I still want to talk to you guys. And it's like... I'm trying, but it's not... It hates me. I don't know what's going on here. Normally there's a button. Normally there's a button that says... I'm on... Okay, but it's like, I'm on my phone, so I think that's the problem.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
You can turn down the sound for the video.
So what you do
You would...
is you take your phone and you chuck it.
But here's the thing, is that like the... Okay. Let's see, if I mute media, will it mute other things? Ah. Oh, frickin' no, man. Yeah, because I think...
Aww,
yeah, because I think with my phone, the media, like, I literally can only mute YouTube if I mute everything else. And I don't want to do that, because I love y'all too much.
Oh, we love you too.
Aww. Aww.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Fucking stealing that Tanuki over there. You son of a bitch. The lag is real. You're gonna make that Tanuki just die. It's gonna fucking maul the shit out of him.
Yeah, I actually
There is a song
fucking
for that.
genuinely care for everybody on the server.
I do.
Aww.
Fuck all of you.
I have emotionally attached myself to your guys' well-being. So, don't do anything stupid, okay?
I have no promises for that.
Fine, Andy. I'm gonna go bungee jump without tying the cord.
F.
So like a Karen.
I'm
Like a...
Bungee jump with sandbags.
I'm gonna rob a bank.
I'm gonna take a long walk off a short pier.
God damn it, Rob.
You're my least favorite people, and I hate all of you.
Yeah, it's okay, it's okay.
No biggie.
Oh, it's this fight. It's the Angry Doggo fight.
Dude. Okay, real talk though. Monster.
I would, but
First you cancel karaoke, and then you move the goal. No.
Listen, man, there were people online during when the thing happened, and I was like, okay, I guess not do it. But there are people online now. I'd be like, okay.
You know what? You know this conversation's not recorded forever, right? Oh no!
Pobrecito. Oh.
Oh, it's the dog. Oh, I love this doggo. He's so great.
Well, can I just say, it's really amusing, because the only reason I know about this game at all is because I took a world religions class a few semesters ago, and I had to make a presentation about like Shintoism and their gods and goddesses and the religion and everything. And when I looked up frickin' Amaterasu, what do I find? A frickin' dog! I'm like, this isn't right.
And finding the black flames to come from the eyes of Itachi Uchiha, the rogue shinobi from Konoha.
Oh.
Elder brother to Sasuke Uchiha.
Oh my goodness.
Get your Naruto stuff out of here. This is a historical podcast now.
First of
We're
all,
gonna talk anime now. Oh shit.
You missed it, Bubbles, but I went on a rant, a real long and hard rant about how much I love ancient cultures and how big of a nerd I am.
It's fun. It's fun. I did vote on your thing, so there's that.
What did you vote for?
So I voted for 3. I remember I voted for Japan because I'm a weeaboo nerd and I have a character idea already, if I can pull it off.
Well, I mean, this is gonna be a while. I need to DM a less original campaign and then figure out how to set up stuff and then, like, you know.
Yeah.
Much work needs to go into this, but I just want to know so that I can start making it because I am, too, a big nerd. What is your character idea? Just because I'm interested.
Okay, so if it's within Japan, because a while ago I wanted to do, like, a Shinto priestess character, who, she was working at a shrine, and, which was, like, the main, like, area for a specific kami, and at some point in time it got attacked. I always kind of go back and forth just between, like, just a bad group of people or, like, another kami of sorts.
Well, there's special objects that you could have been defending if you're a female Shinto priest. You could be defending one of the 3 sacred objects of Amaterasu. And those are under great debate on whether or not they exist,
your
but they're
starter
intense.
Pokemon, Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur.
You're actually not wrong because they are based off of those 3 elements.
There we go. I could be defending the great Pokemon Master.
Oh yeah.
But essentially, overall, like, my idea was because, like, the people, like, attacking or the kami attacking would have targeted specifically that kami deity, and so eventually, like, everything's in flames, everyone's dead except for the specific priestess, and so for revenge, the kami was just like, oh, I'm pissed, and so they're going to inhabit the priestess's body and use it as a vehicle to wreak vengeance, essentially.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I always go back.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so I always go back and forth on whether or not I would want to do something where it's like, kind of like an Inuyasha thing, where it's just like, overall they're either mainly like possessed or like they're mostly not possessed until they are, and like under certain circumstances like they come out, or just full on possession 24/7, always angry goddess thing.
That would be hard to keep up. Just eternal anger is rough on the soul.
Yeah. So it's just, it would depend, because I think overall, if I were to do the flip-floppy thing, then I'd have to adjust my stats a lot and probably have 2 different character sheets, which would make things complicated, but it's doable?
It could just be that, like, the goddess's rage flows through you and you lose complete control over your, like, body. So you become a passenger.
Yeah. So
you don't get, like, a stat boost, you just are no longer yourself, or, like, you become a prisoner. You might get, like, extra damage because of the rage of the goddess, but, yeah.
Yeah. But you never know. We'll see what happens. But if it's Japan, then that's what I would do. Everything else, like, I have like slight ideas here and there, because I think I also voted for Ethiopia,
yeah, Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, so I did that one, and then I think I also selected the Arabian one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those were the 3 that I selected. but it'd be fun.
Good to know.
Oh my gosh, that is a huge freaking moth. Hello there, big boy. Just gonna flick ya. Goodbye. Anywho. So what fun, exciting things are going on in y'all's lives? Y'all good?
Oh, yeah.
Which I can't watch, which I'm so sad about unless if I grab my laptop, but I'm pacing around in my apartment study room because everyone else is noisy and it's windy outside and I don't want to subject you guys to that.
The term you're looking for is there being a bunch of poopy heads.
No, like, here's the thing is that it's our shared space. There's like 5 of us that live in an apartment right now, so it's like, yeah, so it's more so of like, I'm giving them the common courtesy because they want to be social and chat, and it's like, cool, I will go and somewhere quiet and, yeah, easy fix.
5 people. Where are you? Indy?
No, like, it's kind of... Well, I mean, it's like a nice, like, apartment thing. Like, we have, like, a kitchen, we have 3 bedrooms, like, 2 baths.
That is nice.
Yeah, so I mean, like, so there's 2 people per room. It's not that bad. It's not like your typical college dorm, where it's, like, a small closet space, and you squeeze 5 people in there. Nah.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, no. 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 So yeah, I live in a pretty nice place, and we have complete with lounge room and study room, which I'm pacing around in right now.
I am jealous of the fact that you have a lounge room and a study room. That sounds brilliant.
It's nice. It's nice. And I only pay like 1,000 something a month, and since this is like the summer term, I'm paying like less, so I'm like 9, well, not like a month, sorry, that's per semester, so every like 3-4 months. So I paid like 1,000 in full for my apartment. Yeah. Once again, really nice. I go to like a super cheap small college, so it's nice.
What are you studying, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, health psychology. And I'm going to be so I'm completing my bachelor's this upcoming semester, so almost done.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Now the next hardest part is I need to take the GRE, which I haven't studied for at all.
It's fine.
It's fine. I just need to, because like I took a practice one, and then I looked at the scores that I need to get, and it's like, I need to improve my score by like 10, 20 points. So, wish me luck.
You got this, I believe in you.
Yeah, I just need to be motivated to study, because the problem is that like I'm doing both an internship and a job, so it's like, so essentially it's like a full-time job, but my problem is I get home and I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. So studying goes out the window.
Yeah, that's the real awfulness about like getting further in your education is that you need to do an internship and a job and keep up with everything.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. I'll be good. I just need to stop being lazy. I just need to stop being lazy. That's what I need. That's all I need.
Just think of it this way. The decisions you make now will only impact the rest of your...
Oh no, here's the thing is that if worst comes to worst, there's like a college down in Arizona that I was looking at where it's like I can start with my master's, do really, really well in there, and then go to another graduate school elsewhere and be like, take me, love me, shower me with
Why would you
praise.
ever go to Arizona? Have you been to Arizona?
I have, but it was in March, so the change was nice.
Right?
Wait, Pat lives in Arizona? Why?
I don't know. I crawled out from under her rock and I never decided to leave. And I just started eating the wildlife around here and found some, clothes, and now.
There you go. But, overall, like, we'll see what happens. My life tends to change dramatically last second, so it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I start debating whether or not it's worth making a plan or not.
I feel you there.
Mm-hmm. Oh well. Life's fun.
Anyway, I noticed that we have karaoke squad in here, but only two of us are around and can hear and talk.
Tragic. Sad day.
Ooh, ooh. Ooh, woo.
Oh well.
Is it time? Is it time? Is it time to plug up the cutters?
Are you talking about the stream or are you talking about?
Okami.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Oh, you can't change the from night to day. Just draw a backward sea in the sky. Maybe it's just that, right? Oh, wait. No, you did the fish thing, I think, right? I think that's how you get the moon brush. You have to entice the fish to come to the surface when there's something delicious. You use the water to never mind then. I'm dumb. I'm fucking dumb. We got all the dogs together.
Get all the doggos.
I'm trying to think if you did the. Oh, it's coming princess. Never mind. Yeah, no, it's kind of different then. Now you'd have to go take out the PS2 and play this again.
Could be fun though. Do it.
Do it, Anakin.
Give in to your anger.
Do it.
That's the voice.
Give in to your anger.
Oh my gosh. Ah!
Oh, I got a lot of voices, don't worry.
There's one particular voice I'm triggered though. That Andy does.
The hag? It's the hag? Oh yeah, it's the hag.
What's the hag? Do I want to know what the...
Would you like a dream pastry?
Andy's basically channeling
it. More so of like salad fingers.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. It sounds like salad finger.
I like rusty spoons.
Hubert Cupperdale.
I understand.
Soot and poo.
Would you like to see your friend Craggles again?
Oh, Marjorie Stewart Baxter. You taste like sunshine at Rainbow.
You okay, Allie?
I just went like, I think
Lark, have you experienced the hag yet?
Yes.
The old bone grinder?
And she was like, "You are my child," and I was like,
oh gosh,
In our
this is my
game-
first time experiencing it. Whoa.
we have Baba this We call her Baba Lasagna.
There are people in here that are playing. Spoilers.
I'm cutting the line here.
Aw.
I
I can't
I'm
tell
sorry.
you about the joke name for one of
I was
the
gonna server
characters.
mute you if you kept talking.
Oh. Aww.
I don't
sorry,
want stuff
Lark.
spoiled for me.
Alright.
We're talking about the ones specifically at the phone grinder. I'm sorry.
Wait, I'm so confused. What?
Spoiler stuff for Strahd.
I thought that if you were talking about it, it meant that you guys had gotten to that point.
Terribly.
We're going back there eventually. We got it.
Wait. Lark,
we also
I'm
did
gonna
that.
message you something. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we got to the hag, we died. Like, legitimately, we challenged her too early, and we died. Like all of us.
Just to make sure.
Good job on the bongos. Kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. Bite him! Bite him! Look at that, the bite prop came. Feed him first, then bite them.
Freedom! Freedom!
So fucking cute. Alright.
Alright, I was just slightly confused. Never mind, everybody.
Bite that one. Bite it. Wait, you can't get it.
Our DM floated her just everywhere. She just was. We ran up to her at level 3.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
What? Where were you when you first met Strahd?
Encountered her? When we first met Strahd, we went to the Temple of Lathander, and he was like, "What is wrong with you? You buried the Burgermeister. That's like fine or whatever, but I hate you, and like you threatened my son." That's in, yeah.
The village of Barovia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They went
okay,
there,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, I was hella confused for a second.
They went to Kresk recently. Have you been there?
Yes, we've actually been through the entire map. We know where everything is at this point. We just can't go everywhere.
Okay.
It's like, yeah.
They just met. What was his name?
The abbot.
The abbot, right? Yeah, they just met the
he's
abbot.
very. I don't know if our DM did anything different, and I don't want to spoil it, but when we met him, our DM did a very cool voice, and we were all instantly clued in that he must be an important character. But then we got spooked. We got spook-magooked, and we ran away. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Our DM did a voice that was like, "Oh, hello there, children." And one of our characters is like almost 700, so to be called child, we were all like, he old, he run.
The old.
Old equals run in Barovia is kind of like our motto.
This party went to the Abbey. Saw all the little monster people walking about the place. They were like, okay, this is weird. And they found the guy sitting there with his friend, his solution.
Oh, question, so that I don't do spoilers, because I was going to tell you about why we specifically ran away from the abbot. Have you guys either died yet or reached level 5 or 3? I don't remember which.
That's level 7 right now.
Alright.
They all have died, and the abbot asked them to just retrieve a simple dress for him, and in exchange, he would give them resurrects, or I forget which one, but he was basically like saying, I'm gonna bring back 3 people. Just for you, and only 3. And that I feel like that was the point where everyone was like, okay.
Yeah. So my character got resurrected because remember, we decided that like it'd be a good idea to challenge basically Baba Yaga at level 3, right? So we got yeeted. We got dead because we were level 3. And
This guy brought you back to life. So
no, he didn't bring us back to life.
Oh.
We got God resurrected because we were like level 3 and our DM was like, you know, it's kind of early. You guys get cursed. So my character has failing organs, and each morning I have to roll to see which one is failing me that day. So I went to the abbot, and the abbot was like, oh, I see that, like, today your heart isn't working, and you need to keep, like, pounding yourself in the chest to keep it going. Do you want a new heart? And I was like, and that was it. We have yet to go back. He's gonna replace all of my organs. I just feel it in my bones.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. And my character does low-key have an obsession with other people's body parts. But, you know, he's still really scary. You know?
Hey, you got a nice lean there. It'd be a shame if someone just took it.
You've got a real nice arm. Can I have it?
It's just like, and I need this guy's leg. What do you need my leg for? I just need it. Like, just like, don't worry about it.
You know, Rocket Raccoon.
It's very important. Yeah, that's what I'm quoting.
Yeah, we do that a lot, just like all over the chat. Yeah. There was a time when, like, that guy's eye. Why do you need his eyeball? Do you really need it? No.
Yeah, there was. You never know. A good eye could be handy.
There was a time when my like fighting arm legitimately did stop working. I had like entire like full body nerve damage because I rolled like I think it's a 20 gives me nerve damage. I don't know all of them yet because I keep rolling the same thing over and over. But my fighting arm went dead, which means I had disadvantage on all attack rolls. So I was like, I could just have someone else's arm and just sew it onto myself. Let's go.
So it's like your character is zombie, or
I'm not a zombie quite yet. I'm a revenant of the god of penance, or I think his name is Ilmater, like the god of pain. And I was resurrected by him for the sole purpose of alleviating the pain of other people in Barovia. So one of my abilities is that I can steal or like absorb the ill effects from somebody else and take them into myself. And it gives me a boost because of my god, but then I'm incapacitated. Like at one point, we had to get information out of someone, so I cured their soullessness by momentarily giving them my soul. And like my character basically went comatose for a full 3 minutes. So yeah, but then I get like a blessing from Ilmater. He makes me feel better and like, but it's rough. Like I can almost die multiple times.
Woo! Self-sacrifice for the greater good. Yahoo!
Yeah, and like all of the characters in our campaign have that because we all died. Like we all have the curse of something followed by like the blessing of I resurrected you, but you're blind.
That's really cool. So that's just like an overall theme of your campaign, or
yeah. So another one for our characters is our cleric was killed and got she was resurrected by Soon, her god, and Soon decided that she has to feel the pain of everyone she causes pain to, because she was not kind enough in her life, and she didn't follow her tenets well enough. So anytime she causes damage to another person, she takes it, or at least half of it. So it's rough, because she loves dealing out damage.
Nice. So that's always fun.
our rogue is losing parts of his soul. Like he's slowly going soulless because he has to sacrifice something at the end of the day, and if he doesn't have something to sacrifice, then he has to give up a part of himself. So that's, because he's dedicated to the Raven Queen, and she's like, well, you're in Barovia, I resurrected you, you have to cure the undeath. And you can either give me part of your soul, or you can give me part of an undead soul. But you gotta pick. I need something. So, yeah, he's lost 4. He only has 20 to give, and he's already lost 4.
And how far are y'all in your campaign?
We are pretty far. We've figured out where everything is. We just don't have any way of getting to it, because part of our issue is that walking anywhere is really hard on us, because if one of our characters doesn't have anything to kill on the way there, or if my legs just suddenly stop working one day, or like we wake up and our warlock has like a new form of madness, is like all of these things can prevent us from going anywhere. Like it took us 4 sessions to just walk to Kresik.
And that's when your party discovered the beauty of public transportation.
Kind of. We have horses now. We travel in a Vistani caravan. Yeah, we stole one.
Nice.
Yeah, which is driven by our blind and insane warlock. Thank God. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
He's just the only one. Like, he isn't able to see because he can't, but he's the only one who can reliably drive a truck, basically. Hopefully this isn't spoilery. I think you guys are past the point where you can be resurrected. Or maybe? I don't know. I don't know actually how it works. My DM said that for us... But yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe the abbot. For our campaign, though, our DM said that for us, past level 3, there's no resurrection.
Ooh, that's always fun.
I was gonna say it depends on DM to DM how they play the game, so your DM can alter stuff from the module.
That's
and all that
true,
jazz, and same with the ND as well. We're just not sure. I'll put it that way, so there's that.
Yeah.
Each campaign's a little bit different.
Yep.
My campaign is bloody enough as it is. I don't need them to be like...
Your legs don't work. You can't
Like,
walk anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
One of my characters willingly gave up their hand and eye and their happiness.
Oh.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you lose a hand, whatever. You lose an eye, it's a little bit worse. Happiness. Oof.
Had nothing to do with Strahd, though.
Was this pain self-inflicted then?
Nah. A little bit. Just a little bit. Not gonna lie, a little bit. Not completely, but a little bit.
Just a little. Okay. Just a little bit. A little bit of my happiness for you.
What happened was, she got, like, super cursed by a demon. Basically
dear
just
Lord.
dominating her entire life and being a sad girl. Reason why she's like a fallen ASMR and everything. And she was in a tight situation at one point, lost a bunch of people, and the demon comes into her life and is like, hey, you fuck, I'm always here. You can give me more shit, because she already like gave him specific things about her life already. And he comes back and he's like, I can make you more powerful. All you gotta do
is give me your hand, your eye, and your happiness. That's all I'm asking. And she's like, no, I'm never gonna do that. Fuck you. I'm not gonna do that.
Yep. And she panicked and saw that Raleigh and she saw two of her companions fall from the scaffolding and not be able to climb to safety. One guy is gonna give up his life, and a very important NPC was gonna stand guard. He freaked the fuck out, which makes sense if you're like emotionally abused for most of your life.
Yep.
And you're kind of weak sometimes.
You saw a hopeless situation in front of you, and you did the only thing that you thought would pull everyone out.
Even it means destroying yourself in the process because
Yeah.
you care about. Yep.
So she was like, okay, demon, fucking do it, you piece of shit. And then he's like, okay, good. And then he just does it and takes control of her body and just goes full fucking demo on these bad guys. And the fight wasn't even that bad to begin with, sadly. Once fireballs started going up. Okay. I was fucking spooked, man. I didn't know you guys had like fireballs at your disposal.
Surprise!
I'll say this: I never fought a werewolf before, and I thought they were scary fucks. Like the way it was made out to be, I fucking never fought one, so I thought they were the scariest shit ever.
Like before the fight, I was like, oh my god, that's a lot of fucking werewolves. That's a lot of wolves. That can't possibly be it. That's a lot for like 5 level 6s. Oh boy. Alright, let's do it. I don't know how this is
You did the thing?
Oh, the cutters, yeah! You have to wait.
Level up!
Oh yeah, I got a reason why. It's always 3. No? It's very
3 is the magic number.
See.
Yes, it is.
According to some superstitions.
And Schoolhouse Rock.
Everything.
So that's cool.
So, for instance, which was I didn't see coming.
Oh. That's okay. So 3 people are dead. I'm assuming other things have happened in 3s.
We have, technically, as of now, we have 3 out.
The next, you'll meet 3 horsemen of apocalypse.
We have 3 enemies.
Okay.
Good shit like that people pops up here and there.
They're just like, this is interesting. Oh, okay. And so, like, are all these like pairs and 3s all like linked?
Oh no, it was just a nice coincidence in the rest of the game that things are happening in 3.
It just happens. You just like, you're not manipulating anything. What you talking about?
That's how interesting this superstitious idea is. Just
Don't know what it means. Don't know what it's gonna do. But it happens.
oh, you got the bird. Chunt, yeah.
Go, fight, win! I can't see anything, but do what you gotta do.
What?
Oh,
what?
He, Rob freaked the Chun, the bird chick of the Yakuza birds of Sanctuary.
Oh, whoops. My bad, Robert. I'm not watching the stream. I'm busy writing my own thingy.
Oh, no.
Key.
It's up to you. I don't mind if you want to stop. It's just nice cool down memory lane. Plus, I can finally, like, fucking keep flip-flopping on characters. Oh my god, why do I do this to myself? All I did was go on Pinterest and there's a pretty picture. It's so pretty. Everest. Yeah, I think I'll stop watching your stream, Rob. It was really nice watching you play and all that jazz. Everything is green again. Oh boy. Oh no, my Discord turned green. Not the call, just everything's now green. No, this is the one thing we kind of avoid trying to do is karaoke at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I mean, like, once again, I could just step into the study room, or I can just hop in my car and just jam out there, use my Bluetooth speakers.
To quote Tenacious